Welcome to the Scarlet Tea, where we drink tea and talk about writing stuff. This is brought to you today by Peach Tea. Cheers.
It's really not. They're not sponsored. But welcome to Have a Cuppa,
Hello!
the podcast where we are not sponsored to drink tea and talk about random crap. Yeah, I am LT, and this is Scarlet.
Hello.
Because you were about to wave, and it's not like they can't see you. And this is the podcast for March, even though we're recording it in February, so you'll have to bear with us while we try and work our minds out of the whole Valentine's Day shmush.
Yep, we're thinking ahead.
Yeah, which is very hard for us. Well, at least me, I don't think, past breakfast. If anything, I think in past breakfast, I'm now like, did I have breakfast?
Did you?
I think I might have had. I think I had cottage pie
Oh, okay.
for breakfast.
Okay.
We don't question me. Right, so, first things first. What is our topic for today, Scarlett?
Our topic for today is strong female characters because in March there is International Women's Day.
Do you know what day that is?
Do you?
No. I just know it's there. I think it's like... Why do I want to say 14th or something around then? But then again, 14th was Valentine's Day, so I don't think it was 14th. Unless it was, and it was just like... They had Valentine's Day on the 14th, and then they were there like, well, it's the next month, and I feel like still celebrating and eating chocolate, so... They were there like, let's celebrate women that do that an awful lot.
March 8th. It's
March
March
8th.
8th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the 4 times table. I was close. Okay, so... What makes a strong female character in writing, mostly?
Well, not giving them a tank top and a rifle, that much is for sure.
How dare you? We've been playing Lara Croft recently, and she's quite the strong female character. She's not, well, apart from the start when she's not like, come get me!
Yeah. Exactly. It's... Here's the issue, because a lot of... Not to sound mean or whatever, but a lot of male writers, when they write strong female characters, their idea of a strong female character is
Give him a gun.
Yeah, a girl with a gun. Yeah.
A girl with big titties and a gun.
Yeah. Is she emotionally strong at all? Does she do absolutely anything? No. If anything, she might have saved the hero once, and that's it.
I think there was an interesting thing I saw, someone talking about Harley Quinn, the difference between in Suicide Squad with a male director and Birds of Prey with a female director. And, like, the change in costume for one was, like, quite big. Like, just the fact that in Birds of Prey she has her own style, like, it's very Harley Quinn-esque, and at the same time it's still, like, very strong female character-esque.
Yeah.
But in the Suicide Squad one, it was basically just, like, short shirt and small shorts.
Yeah. I know they talked about the same thing for... Oh my god, what was it called? Wonder Woman? For the movie, it had a female director, right? And it, like, her costume and all of that was not very sexualized, but then in, I think it was Justice League, or Batman vs. Superman, or something along those lines, they, like, hyper-sexualized her, because it was a male director.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen either of those, so I can't speak for that one. But I have seen snippets of the Harley Quinn one.
I've seen, like, both Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel, and my very, my opinion, my very, controversial opinion is Wonder Woman was 100 times better, and I absolutely hated Captain Marvel.
No, I don't think that's your only controversial one. I think there was a lot of people hating on Captain Marvel. I think a lot of them were saying, like, it's just a female Superman, and, like, it wasn't even a good kind of
Yeah, and also I'm a woman, and like I
You
like
are?
to consider myself. I like to consider myself a feminist, but like having it shoved down my throat, having like feminism shoved down my throat, where like it's so blatantly obvious, and you don't have to really think about like it at all. It's like,
And it's not even just like the whole give a girl a gun and you've got a strong female character. There's this kind of mindset that only those kinds of girls can be strong female characters. Like
yeah,
there's this stigma around unless you can kick someone's ass, you're not a strong woman. And
yeah,
that shouldn't be the
exactly.
case.
Exactly. Like going back to Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman, because again, I've watched both of them. Captain Marvel, she was just a dick. She was a terrible person,
Okay.
and I couldn't root for her because she just like they were trying to do that whole like sassy, snarky character, but she had no redeeming qualities, so it didn't matter. While with the Wonder Woman, she cared about humanity. She cared about people. Sure, she was like a badass on the battlefield or whatnot, but she also had a character that you can also root for and like because she was nice.
Yeah. No, again, I haven't seen it, but like I have heard like people commenting on that. Not that she was an ass. What kind of stuff did she do exactly?
Like, her interactions with characters, like other characters, like there was Nick Fury was in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Her interactions with him were very snarky and mean for no reason. Like she just, I don't know. It was a long time ago, so I can't give you direct examples.
I guess I see where you're coming from because it's that kind of like again with the whole stigma around it for some reason,
Yeah.
especially when again it's a male director, they seem to think that women support other women who break the rules, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily the breaking the rules, it's the reason they do it that we tend to support. So like for Harley Quinn,
Yeah.
it's the fact that it's because it's empowering her as a character. And we like the chaos, it's hilarious. But with people who are just dicks for the sake of being dicks, it's not, yeah, they're breaking the rules, yeah, they're kind of breaking the stereotype of not all girls have to kind of like do as they're told and all that. But at the same time,
Yeah.
like if someone's just asking like, "Hey, can I have a pen?" and you're there like, "How dare you? I'm not your slave." So, like, it's a small thing, dude.
Yeah.
That's just being
Yeah.
a decent person.
Yeah.
Um,
I know.
Yeah.
Going back to the point of like, what's the term I'm looking for here? Going back to the point of like having to be hardened and stuff to be a strong female character. I like while writing with you, I discovered that writing a strong female character does not mean that they have to be necessarily badass or do.
Yeah. Well, they don't have to punch a guy in the face to be a badass. Like,
Yeah.
because this was something I was thinking about when I was thinking earlier, the fact that we had to record this and we were doing strong female characters, and I was just appreciating the character of Ginny and the fact that, like, she is training to defend herself and all of that, because she trains with Joaquin, isn't it?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, she's a bubbly character, she's nice to people, she's all about keeping people happy, because that in turn makes her happy. And her strength comes from the fact that she is a really nice person and she likes being a nice person. And the fact that she can kick ass at the same time is just a bonus. Like, she's still a really strong character. She won't put up with your shit if you're a douchebag. But at the same time, she won't beat you up for it. What she'll do is probably try and dissuade the conflict and, like, help you out, essentially. Like, she can see past stuff. It's not all about snapping at people and arguing the toss. It's about having that kind of emotional strength to come to some kind of like middle ground, and actually a lot of people don't have that. That's how strong she is as a character. A lot of people don't have that ability to just kind of go, okay, let's take a step back for a second, calm down.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Take a breather.
But that's what I really like about Ginny as a character. So yeah, well done on you, because she's your character.
Thank you. So I guess what we came to realize is what a strong female character is just a human being.
Yeah, it's a person with strength, not just the physical kind. It's just strength in general. Intelligent strength, emotional strength, mental strength. Like the idea
Strength
of
to crush my head between her thighs. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's just for some reason when most people think strong female character, they'll think characters like Katniss and they'll think characters like Tomb Raider as well.
Yeah. Lara Croft.
Yeah. And that's all well and good. They are strong female characters, but at the same time, they are strong female characters in that they are just strong. You could throw those people off a cliff and they will probably get up and brush it off.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you put them in an emotional issue, like, for example, with Lara Croft, you put her in some kind of relationship and she goes through all these issues. Same for Katniss. You put her in this kind of love triangle issue with Peter and Gale and she has a fucking mind breakdown. They're not emotionally strong whatsoever.
Yeah.
And if anything, that doesn't teach girls the right kind of thing. And that I think that's what a strong female character is. It's a strong role model. Especially for younger girls as well. But also older women who haven't maybe learnt these growing up. The kind of idea that it's not just about punching something to solve your problems. It's also about knowing better, and it's also about finding ways that you can get out of a situation without making it worse, and also dealing with issues that come up, because obviously not every issue is going to be someone coming at you with a machete. Nah. I think that actually covered our second thing, which was bad versions of strong female characters.
I will say though, going back to it, my absolute favorite, strong female character would actually be Wonder Woman. I genuinely loved that movie. It was a really well-made movie.
Nice. I honestly can't think of any, because I don't really hold any role models in my life. That's kind of... some reason that went as my weird rule, is that I wouldn't have role models, because the way that my brain put it was surely, why try and be someone else when I can be the best me?
Yeah.
And that's a good way of putting it, but then, knowing what is the strongest version I can be can be tricky. Because you get women who are like, well, you get people who are like workaholic constantly, and you think, wow, aren't they really cool because they can just put everything aside and just get the job done. And while that is a good quality to have, at the same time, you still need to have people in your life, because humans are social. Like, that's the whole point. We still need to have someone. So at the same time, I think learning that, like, having that kind of ability isn't the best situation at times. I don't know, any other qualities you can think of?
All I know is you gotta find a balance. But finding like a balance between just like all things, to me, proves that you're a strong person. Finding a balance between your work life and your social life, finding a balance between your family and alone time. It's one of those. Just balance in general.
Yeah. That's actually a really good way of putting it, because I was just thinking, like, having that balance is what makes most people... Like, it's not just females, it's men as well.
Yeah.
That kind of balance between knowing what is healthy for you and at the same time still caring about others. So that balance between being selfish and selfless, like, someone who is entirely selfless isn't strong for themselves. Like, they tend to sacrifice a lot more, and they'll find that they'll be missing stuff, so they won't be happy as much. But that balance between being a little bit selfish and going like, no, I need this for myself. And at the same time going, but at the same time, I can sacrifice this for them. Like, that is a very strong kind of
Yeah. The issue with the whole balance thing is like, yes, you should find a balance, but you should find your own balance. Someone else's balance will not work for you most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, for example, some people prefer more work to more social life, and they like it that way, and they could function well that way. Other people cannot. So you gotta discover your own thing.
Here is another one. The stigma around introversion. For some reason, especially with YA novels, all of the female main leads have to be introverted for some reason, and I don't know what it is, because the idea of the way they set them up as an introvert, for those who couldn't see, I did air quotes. For some reason, whenever someone writes an introverted woman, they do it as like, oh, they're so shy in public, they're so socially awkward, they'll do anything to get out of a conversation, and that isn't what an introvert is at all. That's social anxiety, which is a different problem.
Yeah.
Introversion is just the idea of you gain energy by being alone, so you can still enjoy being in groups and you can still enjoy socializing, but at some point you've got to go, I need to stop and breathe, give me two.
Yeah. Like, I know me personally, whenever I go out with friends or whatever, afterwards I feel so drained. I'm like, I had a good time overall, but I'm like, I need to, like, just give me 5 minutes alone.
I need to go nap.
Please. Yeah.
But that is what an introvert is. It's like, it's nothing negative about it. It's just what you gain from that.
Like, the thing is, you can look at it two ways. I've heard two ways of it being explained, the whole introverted thing for YA. The first way I've heard it explained is, because a lot of the girls who read novels and stuff like that tend to be introverted and tend to have that quality.
Yeah.
And then another way is, this is gonna sound just stick with me for a second. A lot of people, a lot of psychologists, female psychologists mostly, look at it as a man's ideal woman, like the whole purity thing and the whole submissive thing, and introversion is seen as being submissive, and that sort of like shyness is seen as submissive. So to be like a man's perfect woman or whatever, which is extraordinarily sexist. No one should have to do that. It is so sexist.
At the same time, if you are shy, that's okay. But, like, don't do it because you want to seem that way. If you are shy, be shy because you want to be shy. Like, even if you don't want to be shy, like, if you are just shy, that is okay.
Yeah. And if you're shy, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are weak in any capacity whatsoever. I've known a few shy people who are, like, extremely intelligent people. They just enjoy keeping to themselves, and that's okay.
It's the concept of, like, some people just prefer to listen than be really loud and open about their thoughts, because some people are just, they're like, didn't see a need to. And, like, some people can find that really annoying, like, when someone doesn't tell them how, like, they're feeling, and they're like, well, if you don't tell me, how can I know, and all of that, and that's fair enough, but, like, for some people, maybe you're just not that person that they confide in when they need that, and that should be okay, like, so long as they have someone, it should be one of them, and even if they don't, and they just rather not, then that's a choice they've made, and you've kind of just got to respect it. So I think definitely what makes a strong female character is a kind of self-respect, a respect of others, a balance, and also confidence. Just confidence in who you are. Like, I think that's one thing that a lot of girls nowadays, and guys, again, like, we're saying it's a strong female character, but to be honest, it should apply to both. It should just be a strong character.
In general,
Because, I mean, on the other hand, you've got men that are told, like, they're not allowed to cry, they have to be the strong provider, and they're like, you really don't. I can barely provide for myself, I'm not going to expect you to.
I guess it's like the whole thing with, like, evolution and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's, I don't know, it's...
I guess I see where you're coming from, because it's the whole kind of, like...
The whole thing with, evolution is the man's the provider. It's the whole like perfect. What was it? American Dream. The whole was that what it's called?
the nuclear family type
Yeah.
setup.
Which, mind you, I don't know. I think I saw it in a video or something along those lines where the nuclear family was just designed by corporations so you can buy more stuff. Before the nuclear family, it was like there was a group of adults with a group of children, and they'd all like there's a very strong support system that way.
Yeah.
But now, since the support system is much smaller, where it's like 2 parents, 2 kids, or 1 kid, that support system is gone. But then they spend more money for other things.
Well, it's also the gendered corporation shopping types where like you'll have a female raiser and a male raiser, and they're like they both do the same fucking job.
No, the male one is so much better.
They give them more blades for some reason. So.
They do. They do.
In fact, I kept like ruminating on the idea of buying into like Dollar Shave Club, which are mainly for men, but at the same time they're like, no, if you're a woman, go for it. Go for it.
The one thing I saw, because I'm getting ads for Dollar Shave Club now, is that they're actually doing ads for like women.
Yeah,
like,
women
are using
like
Dollar
they haven't
Shave
rebranded it. The colours are the exact same. It's the exact same
Yeah.
setup. All they're doing is going, women can use it too. Like we're not changing anything.
Yeah, literally, there's not like a women's package or whatever. It's the same package.
Same package,
Everything's
same
the
price, same thing. You get what you ask for.
Exactly. Not sponsored, by the way.
Unfortunately, but they do sponsor a lot of good YouTubers, so
They do.
who knows? One day we might be.
That's the goal, being sponsored by Dollar Shave Club.
That's the dream. But yeah, no, definitely gendered packaging. I think we looked at it once in like a class ages ago, where it was like you can get. It might have been a class, but then again, it might have been Russell Howard, which is where most of my education wound up coming from. But yeah, it was like a kid's computer for boys, which had 50 kind of like uses for it, and was cheaper than a girl's one, which had less uses and was pink and was more expensive. And you're kind of there like, I'm confused on what the point of this is. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a big oof. They seem to be doing it a lot less now, but you can still see it literally everywhere. The whole pink is for girls, blue is for boys. And actually that used to be opposite. Like in history, it's constantly said that like pink used to be considered a masculine color and blue was considered a very kind of feminine color because it was quite calming.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that's switched over. Like I prefer the ones where it's like red is for women because like you're there like yes, I can full on go for a massacre. It's either love or blood. Which one?
Like, as someone who genuinely likes like cute things and cute stuff, and a lot of cute things and cute stuff come in pink.
Or pastels.
Yeah, pastels make more sense than pink.
No, there's definitely, I don't know what it is. Like, there is nothing wrong with liking cute stuff. Like, there should be a market for cute stuff because people like it.
There is.
Exactly. But it shouldn't just be branded just to women. Like, some guys like cute stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. So if anything, like, it's not about being feminist, it's about being genderist. It's about going, like, be who you want to be. Or personist, humanist, I think is the thing.
Maybe. I don't know the term, but yeah.
Well, genderist kind of sounds a bit rude to, like, those who don't go with a gender. So those who are gender fluid, maybe, or those who just don't go for one. Like, it's a choice. If it's not hurting anyone, it shouldn't matter to anyone else. Like, that's them.
People fear what they don't understand, and we talk about that in our novel a lot.
That is very true. I was thinking, I think some of the things I really enjoy, if you ever want to feel empowered as a woman, definitely go on the multi-female videos they've got on YouTube that they put to like really badass soundtracks and just clips of film, because it's just...
Yeah.
But yeah, Alternatively, read our book. We've got some pretty dang good female characters, if I do
We
say
got
so
some
myself.
very if you want some strong female characters, I recommend our book.
We've got a
You
bitch,
want a
we've got a
female
bubbly,
serial killer?
we've got a silent one.
We got a...
Got a headmistress who's kind of a badass, not gonna lie.
We do.
She gives very badass vibes. And at the same time, she still cares about her students. And that's what I like. It's the fact that she gives off serious badass vibes, but at the same time, she still cares. Nice.
Yeah.
The balance. It's back.
It's the balance.
Yeah.
That you can literally see in absolutely every single one of my characters. I am like a scale.
So, you say that your favourite one is Wonder Woman. I'm still gonna stick with my favourite one is Ginny.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why she's just the only one I think of when I think of, like, who is a strong independent character. I'm like, fucking Ginny.
Aww.
I like that girl. She's my fav.
Aww.
And honestly, I can't think of any others right now. So, like, my brain's going like, ah.
There's probably someone else, I just don't know.
Well, the only other one I could think of was my mum, and I'm like, that sounds way too cliche. But at the same time, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, my dear.
Alright, well.
Yeah, so.
The game.
Yeah, we move on to game. And I have created this, kind of. It's probably already existed, but I'm going to say I created it because I came up with a really snazzy title. And we are going to play Ad Liberator.
Ooh, okay.
This game requires both of us to do a bit of ad-libbing. Not so much writing, we're not going to write anything down, but
okay.
We do have to set up what the set is, okay? We're in a room, It's just the two of us. You can either be the suspect or the prosecutor.
Okay.
Okay? The suspect's goal is to prove that they are innocent, no matter what the prosecutor says to them, okay?
Okay.
They get to choose their name and gender, that's it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and the prosecutor, it doesn't matter who they are. They literally just say what the suspect is guilty of, and it can be anything. Doesn't matter if it's an actual law or not.
Okay.
But they are guilty of something. The prosecutor tells...
You are guilty of hoarding anime body pillows.
I am, but that's not the point. I'm not. I only have 4 pillows and they're very random. But
no, they're not. Yeah, they're
my brother had this like triangle pillow at one point, which is like as close to a body pillow as you can get, but I'm pretty sure it's like for pregnant women or something. And he kept it for so long. But yeah, no, so the prosecutor's aim is to prove that the suspect is guilty, and they can come up with all kinds of evidence to prove that they're guilty. Like, we have a key witness that said they saw you, I don't know, stuffing the anime pillows into your closet. And the guilty person the suspect can turn around and go, those weren't for me, those were for my cousin. To which the prosecutor may turn around and go, you don't have a cousin.
Actually, I do. The records were wrong. I found him in Venezuela.
But yeah, essentially you get the gist of it. And do we want to time it? So we don't run on too long?
Yeah, I say we can time it. How long do you think we can go for?
Should we say... We could say, like, 5 to 10 minutes. Which one would you rather?
I say 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then if we have more time left over, we can always switch. Okay, do you want to toss a penny on who's who?
I don't have any pennies.
No, but we have Google.
Oh, yeah, true. Okay. I pick heads.
Right. If you win, you are which one?
The prosecutor.
Okay. And you picked heads?
Yes.
Okay. You win. You are the prosecutor.
Oh, which one was the prosecutor?
The one that has to prove that I was guilty.
Okay.
So, the way that...
I'm having to do the body pillow one, huh?
Don't, because you've already done that one. Okay, so basically, the first few lines, there's only, like, one, which is, like, just for the record, can you give us your name? And that, and then, like, and for the record, you are guilty of da 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 da. and that's your choice. Okay.
Okay.
So, do you want to time it, or
let's see.
shall I?
I have the timer set.
Okay. So, you ready to go? Remember.
What am I saying
again? So the first line is, for the record, can you tell us your name?
Mm.
And then after I give you my name and gender or anything
the
else I
record,
want to
you
say
are
about my
guilty of.
character, then you go, and for the record, you are guilty of.
Mm-hmm.
Or you are a suspect guilty of, however you want to do it.
Okay.
You ready?
All right. Yep.
Yeah, so this is Ad Liberator.
For the record, can you state your name?
My name is Desmond von Gluck, and I am not Scottish.
For the for the record, you are guilty of a furry orgy. How do you plead?
Not guilty. Though I wish I was.
It says right here that someone saw you stuffing large paws into the back of your caravan.
That is true. However, they were not just paws. I had recently gone on a murdering rampage of my neighbor's many dogs, and I was trying to get rid of the bodies.
We caught you on camera heading to the house where the orgy took place.
My cousin lives there. He was making cakes for everyone. I really wanted some cakes, and he makes the good stuff, so I just wanted to stop by for some cakes. I was no part of it. I left immediately after getting cake.
Your cousin.
I don't think you're taking this very seriously.
Country.
You're laughing. Can I get another prosecutor?
No. Denied.
Damn it.
It says here that your cousin was out of state.
I have more than one cousin.
Which cousin was it?
It was number 23.
Do you not know the name of your cousin?
No.
It says cousin 23 has been dead for 30 years.
Maybe it was cousin 24. I know it was 20-something.
All of your cousins 20 through 45 are dead, ma'am.
Is that true? Maybe they died after the orgy. Maybe they had a really good night. I didn't know that. I just know that I went and it was someone who looked an awful lot like one of my cousins 20 through 40. Or in the 20 range. Who gave me cake.
What kind of cake was it?
It was chocolate.
Bullshit, it was blueberry.
So you say it was true that I was given cake?
No.
Alright, in my defense, I didn't know it was blueberry. I just knew it was a chip and something, and I think they might have tricked me with blueberries. Like, I got them mixed up. Maybe it was chocolate chip, maybe it was blueberries. It's an easy mistake. It's a ruthless mistake, and I will murder him later, but it's still an easy mistake.
Oh my god. Have you considered that you were caught on camera leaving the place not at the same time that you said you did, but
I never said
when
I
the
did.
party was over?
I never gave you a specific
You never said
time.
you left the building? Were you in the building while the orgy was happening?
I don't know. There was a lot of strange sounds going on in the other room, but as I said, I only went in for cake, and I never told you the time when I left.
What room was it?
The kitchen.
You were in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Where did you hear the strange noises?
In one of the other rooms with the doors. I didn't go in there, so I don't know what room it was. The door was shut. There was just a lot of noises.
Jesus Christ.
And as for the camera, I went through the back door. There was no camera.
Right, well, we have a key witness here. She says she was, you might remember her as the, parakeet furry. She says that you gave her a very good time.
Yeah, I did. We met up last Tuesday. We went to the bowling alley. It was quite fun. But if I remember rightly, this orgy She was said to have happened on the Monday. I didn't know her then. I took her out on Tuesday.
How did you take her out if you didn't know her on Monday?
Because I met her on Tuesday.
Where did you meet her?
At a cafe.
Which cafe?
De la Rouge. Next to Starbucks, I felt like being fancy.
And that's time. Oh, God.
Alright. Do you want to do another one? You want to be guilty?
Sure.
Can I reset the timer?
Yeah.
This is actually good fun, I'm enjoying. Okay. Alright. So, for the record, can you give us your name?
My name is Judy. I'm a lone mother with 50 cats.
I'm sorry to hear that. For the record, you are guilty of murdering 50 cats. How do you plead?
What was that? You speak up, son.
So, for the record, can you give us your age?
Why do you need my age?
Because apparently you can't hear me.
I don't know where the cats came from.
So, is it true then that you murdered the cats that you found and hoarded in your house?
No.
Then can you recount the events?
Alright, I was getting my medicine, right? Because my bunions were hurting, right?
Dad walks in just then. Everything alright?
Oh yeah, my dad was like, "You're recording, but your sister's still talking." I'm like, "Yeah. Yeah.
Funny that.
I know."
Okay, you good?
Yeah, what were we talking about?
I asked you to recount the events.
I was getting my bunion cream, right? And my bunion cream is in the cabinet on the second floor. Or maybe it was the third floor.
You have
How
a
many
big
floors
house.
are in my house?
I don't know, ma'am. You're the one that lives there.
Or maybe it was Judy's house.
No one told me this woman was
I got
74.
my bunion cream. I got my bunion cream. And then I saw it. My precious babies in the cabinet with the bunion cream. I believe that they chugged the
50
bunion
cats
cream.
into a cabinet.
Now, ma'am, how do you expect me to fit 50 cats into a cabinet?
That's what I'm asking you.
The killer was a damn professional.
Well, I am happy to let you know that there was a false back to that cabinet. However, we did look into it, and that cabinet led nowhere. It was just extended to fit the 50 cats. Seeing as you are the only one that found those 50 cats in that cabinet while you were going
You're right, it's because my children never visit me anymore. If they visited me, they would have found the cats and not me. I am scarred.
Ma'am, your kids have been dead for 5 years.
You know what? I bet it was that neighbor Jimmy. Jimmy killed my cats. Have you looked into him?
Jimmy has been on vacation since September. He says that he couldn't stand the quote-unquote stench of the mad woman with her 50 cats.
I bet you. Alright, okay. Listen to me. Back in my day.
Ma'am, we're not talking about back in your day. We're talking about last Tuesday when you murdered 50 cats.
Last Tuesday, I'm gonna tell you what I did last Tuesday. I went to bingo with my girls.
I thought you said you had no friends. Otherwise they would have checked on you and seen the cats first. I think we've got you, is what I've got written down here in my notes.
What did you get? Are we having salmon for dinner?
No, ma'am, I'm afraid all of your cats ate that before they died.
Oh, someone poisoned the goddamn salmon.
Ma'am, you're the only one that has bought food for your house.
it was that grocery man. I knew he didn't like me.
Which grocery man?
The guy in Walgreens. He looked at me funny, and then he checked me out. I swear to God, he wanted a piece of this cake.
No, Mum, I think he just checked out your groceries because you need to pay for those before you leave.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said he probably just checked out your shopping. You know, you need to go to the checkout in order to pay for your shopping before you leave.
You checking me out?
No, I'm not.
You're checking me. I want a new prosecutor.
I'm afraid there
Excuse
are
me.
none. They're all dead.
Excuse me.
I murdered them last Tuesday.
I will not be treated this
with 50
way.
other cats while I was at.
And that is time.
Plot twist.
I was trying so hard to keep a Texas accent and it was not working.
Oh, this is a strange grammar.
It was so hard. I don't know where that accent went. I tried at Texas. It did not work.
So, we'll leave it to anyone listening to decide who was guilty. Personally, I think the guy with the furry orgy was innocent. I'm just saying.
You did a very good job.
Thank you. Right, so with that said, we now move on to news. Is that true?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So, which one of our topics do we want to start off with? You know what we never did? We never said what tea we were drinking.
I'm drinking a ginger peach tea. Ginger peach tea? Yeah, I don't know. It smells like peaches. It's great.
Nice. Where's it from? Ben's Tea again?
Walmart.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I wanted, because it's
Wait, it's not Ben's
very
Tea, is it?
cold
It's David's Tea, isn't it?
It's David's tea.
Alright. Sorry, Ben. I
wanted to feel like it's spring.
It is soon.
Because it's freezing cold. It's freezing cold over here, so I don't know when spring's
Chilly
going to
here,
show
yeah.
up.
But apparently, unless it's below 0, you guys don't say anything about it. You weirdos.
It is below 0, that's why we're saying something about it.
Right, so which of the topics do we want to chat about? Oh, I'm drinking PG tips, as always, for anyone who might be curious. If there is ever a day in this podcast where I am not drinking PJ tips, you have permission to shoot me.
Today I'm drinking water.
If that is ever the case, burn my body, I've been possessed.
Okay, you know what I want to do? I kind of want to like lead up to the big one, which is this one. So we got a lot to say on that one.
Yeah, no, we do have a lot to say on that one.
So I say go this.
Yeah, do you want to tell me what was that order?
This one.
Yeah.
This one.
Okay.
This one.
Mhm.
And this one.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That's actually a good order. Well done.
Thank you. So yeah, I just want to shout out a Canadian author because she is like going international and is becoming a bestseller.
Nice.
And I don't remember the author's name. That's my issue. I don't remember.
We want to shout out this unknown person we've never heard of before.
Oof. I am gonna butcher this name.
Oh, well, I've got several names we're gonna butcher.
Ashley Audrain?
Audrain?
Yeah?
Looks like that.
Yeah. So Ashley Audrain, she wrote the book The Push, and it's about motherhood, from what I understood. And
that explains a lot.
Actually...
It sounded really badass at first. The Push. It sounds like someone's been Sparta kicked off something, or like going into war, but I guess that counts as well when it comes to birthing.
It actually sounded really interesting because it goes through like each of the chapters. I think I got it down, but I could be wrong. The article where I talked about it is each of the chapters follows like a certain period in time, so you meet and learn about like different generations of this one woman. and you like see the trauma from the grandmother, and then how that correlates to the trauma of the mother, and that goes to the trauma of the main character, and then how she can't really connect with her daughter, and she doesn't really understand her daughter all that well. Yeah, so it's like an interesting sort of like dark psychological thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, it actually sounded really interesting. I might pick it up. And I just wanted to shout her out because I live in Toronto, so someone from Toronto gaining
everyone go get her.
Everyone, you know, someone gaining worldwide recognition for like a first novel is like, wow, that's amazing.
That is a huge accomplishment. Normally that never happens. Yeah, no, good on her. I mean, I've never heard of it, but you know, if you do read it and if it's any good, do let me know.
Will do.
I will give it. Maybe it's on Audible. I'll hear it on there.
Might be.
Who knows? If it's on one of the sales, I'll pick it up because I only ever pick stuff up on sale because I'm cheap like that. Okay, so the next one then, which was bad news for Scarlett over here. At the same time, I'm like quite intrigued by it, not gonna lie. Like, some of the things we've seen are actually quite snazzy to look at. But there is a new TV series coming out. I believe it's April 23rd, wasn't it, they said? This year. Which is Shadow and Bone. Which is, for anyone who's been listening to this podcast, I believe Scarlett said that was one of the books she would recommend not reading.
If it hasn't been, then yeah, I don't recommend this book. When we talk about strong female characters, that is not what we talk about. What I think the author has a different book called Six of Crows, which I have read, and it's an amazing book. And I know, well, one of the characters is controversial, but another one of them is like a very strong female character, which I genuinely enjoyed reading about. But yeah, no, Shadow and Bone, I think, was one of her first series. There's like a trilogy or something along those lines. And
what genre is it?
Fantasy?
Is it,
I think.
Is it like fantasy dystopian or something like that? Because it looked kind of dystopian from the pictures we got.
Yeah, so you could argue it is, but again, I read this book a while back, so I can't really remember a lot of the details. But from what I remember, it was overall like a pretty boring one, and we talked about this before, I don't remember the plot at all.
I tried to get Scarlett to explain it to me, and all I got was, woman goes here, woman gets magic, woman has friend is manslaughter.
Yeah, pretty much. Woman gets betrayed, woman leaves. That's literally the story.
We didn't get names, we didn't get places, we just got she go here, she do that, she do this.
I couldn't tell you the places because I don't know any of them.
This is like me trying to recount Red Queen. I can't remember anything. Apart from the fact that, like, the main character, I think, is called Mare, and the only reason I remember that is because I'm there like, what sort of fucking name is Mare?
Actually, come to think of it, like, Shadow and Bone and Red Queen have a very similar story structure.
Okay.
They're very similar.
Right.
There are some changes, but it's very similar.
So did you ever get those kind of moments where you're there like, why didn't we talk more about this? That would have been interesting, instead of this, which is boring the hell out of me.
I could have. I feel like there was like a few moments of like that where like I wanted to learn more about like certain characters and certain things that we never did, but then I just like kind of assumed, oh, we'll learn about it in like the next books, and then I'm like, do I really want to read the next books? And I was like, no, not really. And I'm like, yeah. So
yeah, I will say I do want to watch the TV series though, just because
that's fair.
A, the costumes look really dang cool, and B, Ben Barnes is in it. And I'm sorry, but he was one of my childhood crushes after Narnia, so...
Oh, who does he play in Narnia?
He plays Prince Caspian.
Oh! Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see.
Ben Barnes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's a cool boy.
Yeah.
But yeah. We can either watch it together. We could do what we did with the big topic that we're going to talk to in a minute. Or I can just watch it and let you know if it's any good. It's up to you.
I say we watch it together,
Yeah.
because if it's anything like the big topic,
we're gonna have a lot to say.
Like
We could do a recording of it and put it on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't know, we have a YouTube channel. You should know, because we put the podcast on there.
We do.
But yeah, no, I think it'll be interesting to watch, at least. It might be one of those where the series is better than the books. So
I hope so.
Those are rare, but they can happen.
Yeah. I know only of like one. I know 2 instances of that happening. One is, according to my friend, the 100 series. Like, the TV show is better than the book.
I've been meaning to watch that.
Or watched either.
I just like the Octavia chick. She seems cool.
Mm-hmm. And then, my thing, Nerve, which I have read and watched. The book is boring as all hell, but the movie is actually, like, it's entertaining. I wouldn't call it like a masterpiece or whatever, but it is what it is.
Fair enough. But yeah, we'll have to update it. I'll put it on Twitter when it comes out. We'll have a brief viewing, and if we do it as a video of our reactions, then you can see them on there.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun for you to edit, because you edit the videos.
I do.
We're not going to show our faces because I'm one ugly motherfucker and Scarlett is too beautiful for you, so...
Oh, thank you, but also no.
Anyway. Our next topic, which was something I found. Apparently, as of last year, someone did a musical adaptation of Pride and Prejudice.
Which, can I add? You said it was on Prime. I checked, and it is not on, like, at least Canada's Prime. Yeah. It's not on mine.
We'll have to stream it over mine, then. I mean, it's 2 hours long, and I'm not sure if I can put up with that, because I saw part of the moments where they broke out into song, and I'm there like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Was it bad singing, or...?
It wasn't amazing singing. It was singing. Like, it wasn't bad, but at the same time, Pride and Prejudice is one of those where it really didn't need to be turned into a musical. It was good. Like, it's already had so many adaptions to a point where, like, I've always got a favourite, other people have their own favourites. It doesn't need any more. Like, it's already, we know the story, so...
Yeah. I still want to read it, because I still haven't, but yeah.
I got, like, 2/3 of the way through it. And then I think I put it down for some reason, but... It is one thing I will give credit to is the fact that the main character is a boss at giving backhanded kind of statements. I think that was one of the things, because it's Jane Austen, isn't it, that wrote them?
Yeah.
She is like a master at having that kind of witty character, and the kind of comebacks she comes up with is like really polite. But if you look into the context, you're there like, oh, Queen of Sass here, I'm seeing. But yeah, no, it's definitely a good book to read. It's quite long, and there are moments it can get confusing, because obviously it's a very old book, but at the same time it is very good, and it is intriguing, I will give it that. But, the musical, I only saw like a couple snippets. I'm not gonna look at it. I'm not gonna watch it. Not gonna lie. I don't think I can sit through 2 hours of people singing about a story I already know back to front. Like...
Yeah.
And again, it's never gonna replace one of my favourites. Like, I haven't seen... So, right. There's... From what I'm aware, there's 2 major remakes of the basic story.
Yeah.
That people recognise most. There's obviously hundreds of actual remakes and stories based on.
Yes.
But there's 2 remakes that are most well known, which is the 1995 one, which had Colin Firth, which was a TV series, I believe. And then there's the 2005 one with Keira Knightley.
Yes. They also made one with that was very advertised, like Pride and Prejudice and zombies, and like just I watched it. I watched it at a sleepover.
Did you not like it?
For someone who never read the book, never watched any of it, and I was introduced to Pride and Prejudice through that, I was like,
so you'd watched that one without ever knowing the Pride and Prejudice story?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what's the actual remakes? Because it's nothing alike.
You should tell me there aren't Walking Dead.
I watched Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, and it was hilarious as someone who has seen Pride and Prejudice.
Uh-huh.
But if you haven't seen Pride and Prejudice, looking at that...
Listen, because I was at a sleepover with another person, and she recommended, watching.
I'm pretty sure that's how sleepovers work, is you go to another person. Just a sleepover with yourself is just sleeping.
Well, yeah, anyway, so she recommended watching Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, so we watched it, we finished the film, and then she was like, you know what, let's watch the original, and she was like, I'm bored, and turned it off, and I'm like, woman.
So where did you get up to?
What do you mean you're bored?
Where did you get up to?
Oof, I think we barely got through the credits.
Fair. No, definitely. Which one were you going to watch? Was it going to be the TV series?
The nightly one.
I like that one. That one's good.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because, as much as I admire Colin Firth as an actor, I do not see him as a Mr. Darcy. The whole point of Mr. Darcy is he's supposed to be this, aloof character who's very handsome, very rich, but, his social kind of disassociation from everyone kind of sets him apart as this kind of, person you can't get, but he's supposed to be very desirable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that with Colin Firth. I'm sorry. To be honest, I was kind of opposed to the guy that they had in the Keira Knightley one as well, the 2005 one. I was there but he grew on me quite a bit, and after that I was there alright, I like this guy. And also the Mr. Bingley they have in the 2005 one. He's just adorable. He's like a puppy.
No.
But, definitely, right, we've got to watch it together, because I want to see your reactions to stuff. Plus, I just like watching it. I do like it. It's very good, and it's a good story for what it is. It's interesting. And yeah, if anything, strong female characters. Elizabeth Bennet is definitely one. She never full-on throttles anyone, but she is still up there.
Unless you watch Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
In which case she is.
I'm pretty sure she does.
There's quite a fun fight scene that I enjoyed.
The weird thing with that is they somehow managed to make a strong female character weak.
That's true, yeah, I can see that.
Right? You see what I'm saying?
Just slightly, yeah. She's not nearly as strong and cool and unique as the original Elizabeth Bennet. But that was the thing with Elizabeth Bennet was, again, she didn't take shit. Just because of who she was and the fact that she was a woman in that society meant that she was there I'm not gonna just do what you tell me to because you told me to. I need a good reason for this kind of stuff, and I'm going to be, right for myself. I think the turn down moments, when she outright refuses someone's proposal, I won't ruin it for you, but...
thank you.
Yeah, she refuses a proposal from someone. She actually does it twice.
Okay.
And one of them you won't believe happens, but essentially it's good. We'll have to watch it at some point.
Alright.
But she is a very strong female character, and she is a strong female character that doesn't fight anyone openly, that I remember.
Yeah.
Try and do that Digi accidentally at one point, I don't know. I don't think she did.
I wouldn't know.
I think the only actual fighting she did was verbal. As again, she was the queen of sass. But yeah, no, definitely go watch that if you want to see a strong female character. And at the same time, I'm not going to bother with the musical. I feel like it was not needed. If there was ever going to be a remake, the only things I would look at doing is updating it for a modern audience, but at the same time, the Keira Knightley one already does that.
Yeah, I was about to say they did.
Yeah.
And they added zombies to it. So
that was based off another book, which was actually Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is also a book.
What?
Yep. The film was based off the book that was based off the original book.
What?
Yeah, there's a whole series that is Jane Austen ones, I think.
mm, I don't know anything about it. I just want to put it into the universe that there is a apparently pretty good Pride and Prejudice like inspired thing called Pride. I hear it's pretty good. It's kind of like for people who enjoy the next topic we're going to talk about. And yeah, I just thought I'd
I was
put it
gonna
out
say
there
it's not like
'cause-
that. What's it called? Is it like Eclipse or something? Which was the Twilight from
No.
what's its perspective?
Different author. Like I feel like I think she got like inspired from Pride and Prejudice
Okay.
and wrote like something similar to it, but just with a different type of like audience in mind, I guess.
Okay. That's fair. I guess it's like
I think
if
a lot
anything
more
could use
diversity, I believe it is.
like remake, it would be then the book, wouldn't it? Because the book is quite hard to read at points, especially for a modern audience. But then again, almost everyone's remade the book.
All I know
But yeah.
is I'm pretty sure Pride is just a lot more diverse in like cast.
So I see what you mean by it's like the next topic.
Mm-hmm. There
And
you
speaking
go.
of the next topic, would you like to have the honors?
Thank you. We watched Bridgerton.
We did. Well, we watched like up to episode 8, was it? Something like that.
Episode 8 is the last episode. We watched till episode
5 then?
5, yeah.
They're quite long. Which is
Oh,
weird
yeah.
because they
Hour-long
don't have
episodes.
much in them overall. Like looking back, it was very kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
So, what people might want to know why we're bringing this up on a topic that tends to talk more about writing is Bridgerton is actually a series of books first. It was based off books.
Yes.
We haven't read the books, but actually looking at them, I'd quite like to read the books.
Yeah, honestly, same. I don't know if I'd pick up the first one, because again, I already know what happens.
At the same time, I kind of want to see if there's any kind of extension, and maybe I might like the character more, like the main character, the main girl.
Oh, yeah.
The Duke was cool, he was chill.
I love the Duke.
But, yeah, after watching the episodes, like, we were both kind of shaky on the main character for most of it. For one, we couldn't get over the bangs. Yeah. The bangs just looked so stupid.
It could have been a style back then, but like...
It was more the fact that they were so short that they made her forehead look huge. And then when she had her hair back, they had these weird curls that just looked like little horns.
I think that was the point. Like, I think back in the day, women wanted to accentuate their foreheads, so it might just be a style choice.
But at the same time, wasn't their whole aim to, like, make a Regency in a modern era? It was like a weird modern twist on Regency.
Yes.
Like the music that they did, basically modern music in a classic style that just sounded wrong.
Okay, like it really did, because like LT doesn't know a lot of
no.
modern music. I do. I listen to pop and stuff like that.
I'm
so
in a weird Black Veil
Brides
Brides phase. Don't question it.
So whenever I'd hear one of the songs like on it, I'm like, I can only focus on the song. I don't even focus on what's going on. I'm like, wow, this sounds really bad.
Well, it's actually quite interesting then, is the fact that you recognize the songs, so you can only focus on the songs. But as someone who can't recognize the songs, all I could hear was the weird beat to it. Like, it sounded off. Like, the whole point of, like, classical music is it always sounds very flowy and elegant, and, like, it's either that or it's really powerful and strong. But with this, it just sounded like a and I'm like, the fuck is going on with the violinist? I think he's having a seizure. But when they had actual written music, it sounded really well.
Yeah, because they had like written music for the show itself. It sounded amazing. Like I genuinely enjoyed the music written for the show. I don't know. I assume it's for the show.
One of the moments was like really good. But yeah, like it's that weird kind of twist, and like the casting. When I first looked at it, obviously you've got that first kind of thing of like, this is new, because like in Regency things you'd almost never have this kind of cast. And then obviously I like this cast because it's actually really it shows off what they're trying to go for, which is a modern
Yeah.
version of that whole thing. It's
Mhm.
kind of like Hamilton, in that sense
Yeah.
of like it's an old story in a modern setting type
Mhm.
situation, but not in the same sense of
Mhm.
like it's in now. But
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's an interesting cast, and like a good portion of the actors are pretty damn cool.
Yes.
I know one of them I
And good
definitely
actors.
recognized.
Mhm.
But then we also had our favorites. So like the main guy, he was pretty
I
dang
love
good.
the main guys so much.
If anything, we liked their outfits more than. But he had a
I
good
honestly
voice
just
as
liked
well, and like
him.
yeah. And then also you had like his mother figure, not his actual mother, but like
Yeah,
the
his
woman
yeah.
that was like looking out for him. She was a boss ass bitch, and I fucking love
She
her.
was the issue I had with her is we never learned like more about her, and I kind of wanted to.
Like I cannot remember her name for the life of me. I
I
just
can't
know
remember
that she was
anyone's
there.
name for the life of me.
I remember the main characters' names and Penelope because she was chill. I liked Penelope.
Ah, yeah, we liked Penelope.
Yeah, we shipped her with Connor an awful lot. He was the youngest
What's his name?
son.
He was the puppy boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not the one that we really suspect is gay,
Mm-hmm.
or the older
Oh,
one, which
right,
is
right,
a
right.
slut.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, names wise, I think they just introduced way too much way too soon, and they probably would have benefited a bit better taking it with a bit more time, because it feels like they just threw everything in at first. And this is why I'm kind of interested to read the books, is that I'm hoping that the books kind of ease you into it a bit better. But again, I don't know how they'll do that. But yeah, it was the fact that like I didn't like the main character. She just seemed incredibly, I don't know, bland, I guess it was. Kind of,
Yeah.
you've seen that kind of character before, and she...
Thousands upon thousands of times.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nothing made her unique or stand out at all.
No, and also she didn't really have much of a personality either, besides the whole kind of like they were trying to do an enemies to lovers type situation, and
Yeah.
it never even got into the enemies sector. Like, we could see what was
They
going to happen
tiptoed
from
it.
a mile away.
They really tiptoed it
Mm.
a lot to the point where it just didn't matter.
Yeah, if anything, I preferred the sister. What was the name I found out? Eloise Bridgerton. She was cool. Like the smoking thing and hiding it, and the fact that she wanted to dream. Again, it's a cliche thing, but like she was still cool. Like at least she had something going for her instead of the main character who was just I need to marry and they're like I understand that most women back in those days had that kind of thing, but like she didn't have any fears, she didn't have any worries about that, she wasn't questioning that at all. She didn't seem to have any hobbies beside playing the piano now and then.
Like, I mean, I guess she did sort of like, I don't know if she questioned it or feared it. She just kind of, see, I think this is why we didn't like her, because she never pushed the plot at all. It was always the other characters pushing it for her.
Yeah.
The only time she like actually pushed it in some way was when she's like, I'm marrying this guy. That's it. I'm marrying him. You are marrying me. That's it. Like, that's the only time I like kind
a hard decision. Kind of like, if you marry me, you won't have kids.
Yeah, but then like she really wanted kids. I guess that was like her dream, to have kids and a family. It's like I can like, she's not a terrible character. She
could adopt.
I don't know, man. It was
work
one of
at
those...
a school. There are many options. She didn't seem to think through situations all that much.
Yeah.
Right, I would argue that the only way she did push the plot was by running into a garden in the middle of the night. She did not seem to learn from the first time.
Apparently not.
But yeah, no, there was so much going on in that story. I'm not even going to start on the Queen. Just became a running joke while we were watching it.
Without any spoilers,
the Queen does crack.
We're pretty sure Snoop Dogg directed that episode. I'm pretty sure Snoop Dogg directed any scene with the Queen.
Some super high guy. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I
she
swear
was
at one
definitely
point we
entertaining.
saw her eating gummy bears. The wigs just got ridiculous. Like, I know that they were supposed to be ridiculous in those days, but they were ridiculous. I mean, we had several moments. I thought they looked like Yum Yums. I swore they had gummy bears. And then one just looked like she just picked up a rope and just thrown it on her head. And again, the whole crack situation. And the fact that they had dogs that weren't corgis. Like, I could see what they were trying to go with. And they're like, why? Just why?
I mean, different queens, so, different dogs.
Yeah.
That was kind of like more of a nitpick, I think.
Yeah, that is more of a nitpick. And I'm not complaining. It was hilarious to watch. But at the same time...
I will say, though, the main plot of the story is basically the main girl and the main guy getting together, right? It's that sort of story. But I found the other stories a lot more interesting.
Definitely.
Like the whole thing with Penelope, the whole what we thought was going to be a Cinderella story, but Len didn't.
Yeah.
Which I kind of honestly, personally, I kind of would have preferred if it was a Cinderella story. That's just
it was weird because the first time we met Penelope, we thought that she was going to be like one of the stepsisters because there was like three of them and they had that very vibrant kind of whole thing. And then obviously there was this farm girl that was brought in and was there like, oh, we've got a Cinderella story to deal with. Yeah. Until we actually like got absolutely nothing from the farm girl and we were there like, why are you here?
Which, like, looking at, because I know the order of the books and I've seen all the books. Looking at them now, I kind of know what they might have been going for, and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But like I think they were trying to go for something and it just didn't work.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely like Penelope, which was the little plump girl, and she was very adorable, and she had a lot going for her, and I was way more invested in her story than I was in the main girl's. I was more invested in Eloise's story than I was in her sister. Her sister just gave me nothing, and the kind of conversation that she had between, what is her name? Daphne, that was it. Daphne and her sister Eloise have this conversation at one point, which is obviously Eloise has this fear, which is really interesting to look into, is the fact that it is a genuine fear that some women have. And the fact that definitely in those days, they were scared to, like, wind up married and all of that because of those fears. And also the fact that every woman in the story lacked sexual education, which is hilarious. Probably true, but also hilarious. It was a really in-depth kind of fear to have, and I was really intrigued by it, only to have the sister kind of shrug it off and be there like, oh, you can't, no. And I'm there like, can this woman just go fuck herself? Because I'm way more interested and invested in the sister's story. Like, I kept saying several times while watching it, like, can we just have the sister be the main character? Because that would at least give me something to work with. Like, if anything, that works better, because the Duke doesn't want kids, and she doesn't. She's scared of that whole front. Yeah. So, if anything, they make a great couple.
Yeah, technically speaking. But then there wouldn't be any drama, so.
There probably would. There'd probably be tons, because obviously Eloise still wants to, like, go out and find adventure for himself. If anything, I really want Louise to kind of, like, do the whole dress up as a guy type situation. And that would be way more interesting with a Duke love thing in it. Because that can cause a lot more problems. But instead we got the very classic one that we saw from miles away, and it's just...
Yeah. There were some cute moments. There were some moments where they were cute and stuff.
The first one wasn't. The first one, it was like, you have to look like you're absolutely in love with me, and she just seemed to be staring at his head. And I'm like, okay, well, he looks like he's in love with you, and you just look like you're going along with it. But, yeah. We haven't finished the series, though, either.
We haven't.
No, we got up to the point where the inevitable happens, and then we kind of, they're like, well, they're together now, so fuck it.
I mean, I do still want to watch it for, Eloise, will she find out who the author is, and then
That's
for our little baby puppy boy, what'll happen with him, and then the other brother... And then will the, oldest brother, will he marry that
Will he stop being
woman?
a dick? I've heard
Willie's
the comments for season 2, which is like a love interest for the older brother, and I don't think he's gonna marry what's it. Obviously, she ran off, and we're still there going like, you should have just married her. You got well, you got 2 other brothers. Like, you're not gonna lose out on anything.
Yeah. Okay, so for anyone who does want to read the books like we do, I have like the order of how it goes. So the first one is The Duke and I, which is following like the first season, which is the story of Daphne and the Duke of Hastings, Simon Bassett. Yes, Simon Bassett. And their whole thing and how it happens. And then the second book is The Viscount Who Loved Me.
Viscount.
Viscount? Thank you. And then this one is about Anthony, so the oldest brother, the eldest son and whatnot. Him searching for like a bride. Okay. And whatnot. Yeah. And then
that would explain. I think the seasons are following those as well, because season 2 seems to be more about Anthony.
And then the third one is An Offer from a Gentleman, which has a Cinderella-esque vibe. And it is about Benedict. So the second brother. Yeah. So maybe that's what they're going for. I don't know. Apparently there's a mysterious woman at a masquerade ball. That's all I know. And then the fourth one, Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, which is Colin's novel.
Aw, puppy boy.
Colin, yeah, and then it has Penelope and Colin.
Nice.
To Sir Philip with Love, and this is Eloise's novel. When He Was Wicked, which is Francesca's novel. I don't remember who Francesca was. I don't remember who she is. It's In His Kiss, which is this woman's novel.
Oh, is that Hyacinth? She's the little girl.
Yeah.
Or Hyacinth.
And then On the Way to the Wedding, which is Georgie's novel.
I'm going to assume
which
that's
is like the absolute
one.
youngest. Yeah. And so there's a total of 8 books. Those are all of them. That's the order.
Fair enough.
If anyone is looking to read them. They're all apparently, well, the author's a best-selling author, so.
Good on her. Yeah. I did do some looking into the directors of the TV series. Because looking at it, I did studies, I did media studies and I did film studies, so I like to think I know a little bit about this kind of whole shebang.
Yeah.
But again, looking at it from like a critiquing side, the TV series, again, it was very spotty. Half of the characters I just couldn't get into because they didn't get enough time for themselves. And the main one, just, you could see it from hundreds of miles away. The only bits that seemed interesting were like the tiny twists in between, which were things like the boxing match and him telling her to go fuck herself, and she did. That was hilarious.
Spoiler alert.
I don't think that counts as a spoiler because people will take that in a different light. But yeah, I looked at the directors and I was there like, okay, now with most TV series, they'll have like a couple directors over time, and they'll have like several writers, because obviously you've got several episodes, which is fair enough, but like the way I look at it is like having that many directors and people like pitching in can make something quite choppy, unless like there's like a consecutive lead through there. The main creator, Chris Van Dusen, I don't know if I've said that right. I had a look at like stuff he's done. The only thing that I could see was he helped work on Grey's Anatomy. This seems to be his first proper project, from what I could tell. If I'm wrong, by all means correct me. But that kind of situation, it does make sense that it is very new what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Because he is new to doing his own original stuff.
Yeah.
The directors, one of them was a big name, has worked on episodes of a lot of programs that, especially me and you, definitely know and love. But the 3 others, I couldn't see anything on them. And they apparently, like, directed at least 2 episodes each. And I'm there like, okay. But, so the good one was Julianne Robinson. She's done a lot of main series. Some of them, she's done episodes for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She's done Manhattan. She's done Orange is the New Black. And she's also worked on Grey's Anatomy, from what I could tell. So she's done a lot of big ones that have definitely been popular. For some reason, they also had Cherie Folkson, Alric Riley, and Tom Verica. And I looked at the bios on IMDb and tried to find other stuff they'd done. It's either there's stuff that I haven't heard of before, or there's just next to nothing, or again, like one of them didn't even have a real bio. So it seems like it's a very, very fresh cast, and very fresh crew.
Which, I mean, doesn't necessarily mean that the thing would end up being
It means it's
bad.
risky. It's definitely the production was a big risk, basically, and it's definitely gained popularity.
Oh yeah,
but
no,
critical acclaim is the question. I know that there are a lot of people who question a lot of the choices that were made.
Yeah.
So, but it definitely makes sense with that kind of thing. It was a huge risk, and I think it's come out on shaky grounds. Like, there are good things and there are bad things, and it's very here and there. You ready?
Well, yeah, no, I'm alright. I'm just thinking, like, we're talking, like, a lot of critiques on this show, but, like, looking back at it, it wasn't, like, we still enjoyed ourselves.
Oh, yeah,
so
no, it wasn't terrible.
I would recommend, I definitely would recommend people go watch it for themselves, because, again, seeing such a diverse cast is great.
It was definitely amusing at times for us. Mostly it was us taking the mick, but we still found it funny.
Yeah, like, it's, for what it is, it's a pretty good show.
It's fun to watch with friends, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But don't go into it if you're looking for something that is, like, surprising or anything like that.
Yeah, if you're looking for something like Pride and Prejudice or...
anything particularly clever, it's not...
It's not clever.
It's funny, and it's amusing to watch.
It's funny, and it's like, if you want to turn your brain off for a little bit, it's great.
It is definitely, like, at least for the first few episodes, it's addictive, because we did keep going, like, come on, let's watch the next one.
Yeah, and then after
they got together, we were like,
okay.
Yeah, fuck it. But yeah, I just prefer to see more of the other characters than the main two.
Yeah.
They didn't hit off with me. I mean, the Duke did. He was chill, but by the end of it, I feel like he gained some of the girls' dumbness, and I'm like, meh.
Some of it. I can see that.
Anyway.
Oh, if you do watch Bridgerton, though, just disclaimer, make sure you're over 18.
Yes. There is a sex moment straight off the bat.
So, we did not expect that, just, over 18. Or watch
really
it with
didn't
headphones,
need to be there either.
It didn't.
Nah.
It didn't.
I think I was trying to do a Game of Thrones, but it just didn't swing. I'm just like, we didn't need to see that. Anyway. Yeah, that was our news section.
Shall we wrap this up?
We shall indeed. What is a book you would read?
A book I would read. Probably should have come up with this beforehand, shouldn't I?
I'm trying to think of one as well.
I'm thinking like a book with a strong female character, and I'm like,
That could be wise. Actually, I might try and think of that. Okay, I've got one, but you're probably not gonna like it.
Katniss Everdeen?
Yeah. It's the only book I can read more than once.
I don't mind her as a female character. She was fine. Like, I genuinely didn't mind her. She didn't annoy me, that's what I'm saying. If you would have said like something like Match, then I was gonna be like,
no, I don't see. It was one of those, I was looking at my thing and I saw like one of the books from the Matched series, and I was like, I did enjoy Matched, but I didn't enjoy it for the characters. I enjoyed it for the world and the idea behind it. Like, that's why. And I still haven't finished reading book 2 or even started reading book 3, so.
Oh wow, really?
I have them, I just haven't read them. So a book I would read would
what?
be
Yeah.
Hunger Games, because it
Okay,
is a book
I
I've
got it.
managed to read twice. And again, it's not entirely just because of the characters, it's also for the world and the whole
Mhm.
dynamic behind it. It's definitely a very original idea. The whole
Mhm.
kind of like just everything about it. And it was a good story
Mm.
for what it was. I do
Hmm.
enjoy it. So yeah, I would definitely say that. Do you want to go?
Yeah. Okay. So a book that I would read, totally out of left field because we didn't really talk about it, but the Cinder, just Cinder, or if you
Ah.
want to continue reading on, yeah, it had an actually like a very strong female character that like to me personally, I
Mm,
could see her being like a role model. She without any spoilers, she is like a cyborg woman, so
mm,
she has a prosthetic,
nice.
and she's also into the whole yeah. And it was a Cinderella story that I actually could enjoy and
Mm,
could get into because the main character was, she was still nice and all of that, but
mm.
she had more. What's the term I'm looking for?
Pizzazz.
Yeah, yeah.
Go.
And she had an interesting hobby. I was very interested on the fact that she actually like fixed robots and stuff in this futuristic
Nice. I still need to
setting.
read it.
So yeah, yeah, it's the same author as Heartless.
Ah, I
Mm.
definitely need to read it then.
Mm. Yeah, no, I like she to me personally. I think she could write very strong female characters.
Mm.
As for a book I would avoid
Yep.
though, Shadow and Bone, just flat out, I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. A book I would not read. See, this is always the harder one because, like, there are books that
Mm.
I like didn't 100% enjoy and wouldn't recommend, but at the same time, I didn't hate them. Like, I don't regret not
Mm-hmm.
like reading them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, no, I do have one which is from the Throne of Glass series, which was
Oh,
it's the Tower of Storms, I think it is. Is that
okay.
right?
Yeah.
But it's the one from Cal's perspective.
I don't know which one that is.
The captain of the guard.
No, I mean I don't know which book it is.
Oh, it's a spin-off, like I think it's in
Mm-hmm.
between um
Oh,
her
I get
last
it. Yeah.
one and the like second to last one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I haven't read the last one yet, but I've been meaning to and I do have it.
Yeah.
But I got the Tower of Storm one straight off the bat, and as soon as I found out it was in Cal's perspective, I tried to get into it, and my god,
Mm.
I just hate that guy. He is a
I
wuss. He
don't
is
like him.
constantly complaining. He just has nothing good going for him besides the fact of, oh, isn't he cool? Oh, he dated the character. Eh. After that, I was like, okay, great. Like, I do not care at all for his storyline. I care more about the prince, okay? If it had been a spin off
Yeah.
about the prince, I would have been all for that. Because it was
Mm.
about the captain of the guard and just him going to get himself fixed up, I'm like, I don't care. I really don't.
Mm.
Um,
I mean, maybe people really liked him. I don't know the fan
maybe
base all that well.
he just bored me to shit. Like, I can
Literally, the
understand why
only.
she went for him at the start. Like, he did seem like the more
Mm.
kind of supportive character in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense of, like, I mean, at the same time, I'm there questioning, going, like, actually, Dorian had more support. He gave her the dog and everything. Um, but yeah, it was. He just. His entire thing was either taking the blame and going, I'm sorry, or being the problem and going, why is everything happening to me? And going
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, solve your own fucking problems. Seriously. He's like a damsel in distress, and it's not even a good one. But yeah, no, that's one I wouldn't recommend.
Mm.
Don't even bother, just skip to the next book. But yeah. So, with that almost done, any inspiring, uplifting quotes?
Find your balance.
That is a good one. That is a solid one.
No one said it, but yeah.
Yeah, and my one would be if you want to be a strong female character, then be yourself. Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to go punching things.
No, just be proud of yourself. You should
Yeah.
be. With that said, that was Have a Cover.
This time I actually drank my tea, like, throughout the thing.
I actually have some tea left, which is the first time ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have like a little bit at the end.
We're getting better at this.
I know, right?
Let's go.
I also didn't interrupt you nearly as much. I did feel really bad about that last time.
Oh, no, it's fine.
But yeah. No, I think this was a good one.
Yeah.
So, from us, have a great International Women's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And we shall see.
And St. Patrick's Day, whatever the hell that is.
Yeah. Try not to get too drunk. Stay safe.
And we'll see you next month.
See you again. A tatty bye.
Bye-bye.